So I'm planting potatoes in these 5-gallon buckets. I think it'll be a really easy way to plant and harvest them. You just dump the bucket out so you can get to the potatoes. But my wife, she thinks about things that I don't always think of. I just think put them in the bucket. She's thinking, well, these buckets aren't going to look that great out there in our front yard near the road. So I'm very thankful to my wife. She watches out for me. She thinks about things like that. And she painted these buckets a nice pretty green. She said that'll look much better. I cut up the seed potatoes into smaller pieces with 2 or 3 eyes on each seed potato. Then I allowed them to set for 3 or 4 days to heal over so that the exposed potato flesh would get a hard covering on it so that they'll be less likely to rot when I put them in the dirt. Now for this 5-gallon bucket, I will put 2 seed pieces in each bucket. You could do one, um, or you could do more. The more you do, the more potatoes you'll get, but the smaller they will be. The fewer you do, the larger the potatoes will be. Now, after putting the seed potatoes in the buckets that had about 4 inches of dirt, I'm going to add 6 more inches of dirt to cover the seed potatoes. And then we'll let the seed potatoes grow up through that soil and begin to sprout some leaves. Then we'll come back later on in the season and we'll add even more dirt, taking it up all the way to the top of the bucket. Now we're going to add some bone meal to fertilize the potato plants. Bone meal helps the potato plants grow stronger roots. And in a potato plant, the roots are where the potatoes are formed. So we want these plants to have all the nutrients they need to grow as many and as big of potatoes as we can. Altogether, I planted 13 5-gallon buckets, and I expect to get 1 to 3 pounds for each. I also planted some larger buckets. These were made from some old trash cans that I had that were used for goat feed, but I don't have goats anymore. So I cut these in half and I placed 4 or 5 seed pieces in each one. So I expect to get maybe 5 pounds out of each of these. Added in the dirt and the bone meal, and now I'm watering in those seed potatoes. And I'm sorry about sticking my finger in front of the lens on this shot. Now, these ugly, worn out trash cans are in my backyard, so they're not very visible. But they kind of go along with my philosophy. My philosophy is take what you have and put it to use. Find ways to repurpose things. Find ways to take stuff that would otherwise just be junk, it's going to be thrown away, and find a useful purpose for it. So that's my philosophy. And again, with the buckets that I had in the front, um, my wife helped me with those because those are going to be visible to the road. So she, thankfully, thinks about how things look, and she painted them and made them look nicer. But take what you have and use it. And because I'm doing so much gardening this year, I realize I'm probably going to need some more dirt at some point. And I may not need that much, but I decided to go ahead and get another cubic yard of landscaping mix from Shepherd's Mulch. That's probably more than I need, maybe a lot more than I need. But here's the deal. I'm just not going to pay $8.98 for 1.5 cubic feet of soil. I paid $25 for this entire cubic yard. And that's equal to 20, no, sorry, that's equal to 18 of these bags from Lowe's. It would cost $160 to get the same amount of soil if I bought it by the bag. But when I buy a truckload, it's only $25, and that's worth 27 of those bags from Lowe's. So yeah, I might not need all of it. I may only need 3 bags worth. But look, 3 bags at Lowe's would cost me 20, almost $27. So I'm just not going to do that. I'll just buy a cubic yard for $25. And hey, I need a little exercise anyway. So here I am. It took me about 30 minutes to shovel this cubic yard of dirt out of the back of my truck and into a spot I have at, at my house. And I'll just keep this dirt in a nice big pile until I need it. Also took advantage of some sunny weather we were having to transplant some seedlings I started inside out into my hay bale planter. So here I have planted some green magic broccoli, some early round Dutch cabbage, some salad bowl lettuce, and some buttercrunch lettuce. And I'm planting some of this in the dirt and also some of it directly into the hay bales. So we'll see how that goes. But these hay bale planters were designed and will ultimately be growing watermelon, cantaloupe, sweet potatoes, beans, peppers, and tomatoes, but it won't be warm enough to plant those outside for several more months. So I wanted to go ahead and try to take advantage of the cooler weather to grow these cooler weather crops. So we'll see how these go, and they'll be a good way to experiment. Plus, we love broccoli at Mullis Farm. We eat a lot of lettuce too, and planted some carrots out here. And really interested to try out this variety of black nebula carrots. Never had a black carrot before. I think it'll look great in a salad.